having a big family comes in handy sometimes when you have a 15 passenger van. So it certainly came in handy today. It's good for, it's not quite a pickup truck, but it does a lot of things a pickup truck can do. On these Gen 5s, this crank flange actually protrudes further past where this bell housing face is at. So I'm going to attempt to hold my my stock, my steel bar here flat with this and measure the gap. That'll give me sort of the offset of this flange face. Then we'll measure the lip of this and then kind of how far in the pilot bearing hole goes, so we can kind of get some measurement there. So okay, I'm getting right at 0.3 inches on this side. It's 7.62 millimeters. Go measure it on the other side and see what we got there. Basically the same thing, 0.304 inches or 0.7 or 7.73 millimeters. So we're basically 3/10 of an inch out. All right, that measurement here from the flange face out to this lip is 0.325 inches or 8.25 millimeters. And from this outer lip to the first ledge there, we've got 0.616 inches or 15.67 millimeters. And beyond that first lip, inside, pilot bearing could sit another 0.805 inches or 20.46 millimeters. Okay, the ID of this larger outer portion is 1.689 inches, or they're pretty close. I don't have a gauge that'll accurately measure the inside diameter, but that should be pretty close. And or 42.9 millimeters. Teeth on my caliper just aren't long enough to reach that inner diameter. I can probably find it online, but it looks like it's somewhere close to 1 inch. Might be a little bit larger than that, maybe 1.1 inches, somewhere in that ballpark. I'll do some research online to see if I can find that, but hopefully that gets me close to figuring out pilot bearing between this and the ZF6 transmission. See if I can figure out a flywheel and possibly a clutch that'll work and a pilot bearing. So tomorrow morning, Jeremy here. I realized last night that after doing some research that I needed to take a couple extra measurements. So I'm going to get those done and then get some more research done to see if I can find the right flywheel and clutch. Okay, thickness on that dust shield / corrosion barrier is 0.037 inches or 2.3 millimeters, 2.31 millimeters. Looks like depth on the input shaft to the base of it is 5.788 inches or 147.02 millimeters. The diameter on this input shaft at the pilot bearing looking at 0.59 inches or 14.99 millimeters. Okay, and last measurement, if I can get it, this one might be kind of hard. Looks like about 2.13 inches, that's probably not exact, or 54.25 millimeters. Back to last night, Jeremy. gotten some questions both on YouTube and outside of YouTube on what exactly is going in the cart, what's going to replace the LT1 that had 172,000 miles on it. And here it is, now that it's in the garage. It is officially an L86, which is basically the same thing as the current 5th generation LT1. So I can kind of say I'm replacing an LT1 with an LT1. There have been, if you're familiar, this is the 3rd engine with that LT1 designation. I don't know why GM keeps reusing them, but they do. And then for me, I'm getting to replace an LT1 with an LT1. This is the 5th generation. I think it's been used in trucks and Camaro and Corvette and maybe a couple other cars since 2015. It's the replacement for the LS series of engines. Big changes, it's direct injected. So I'll let you guys do research if you want to know more. So what's been done to the engine and what hasn't been done and what's going in it. So I really didn't touch the short block. I pulled it out and made sure everything looked good. The cylinders looked great for the most part. So the short block did not get torn apart. Heads got pulled off. I put a BTR 225 cam in it with a Comp Cam's phaser limiter. And it has a larger fuel lobe with a lash cap. I forget, I think that's a Comp Cam's lash cap, but so that'll give it a little bit more fuel. Still the stock L86 or LT1 injectors, so it's not the LT4 injectors. It does have the LT2 intake, so this is supposed to flow better and give a little bit more power. I am running, let's see, I'm running the Holley swap pan with a road race baffle in it. Since I'm planning on autocrossing and road racing this thing, I wanted the protection of the road race baffle inside. For what it is, that thing is pretty pricey. Well, the whole oil pan is pretty pricey if you've looked at them, because it's not a stamped oil pan, it's a cast aluminum oil pan. So all of them, no matter what brand, are pricey. Let's see, moving around to the front, it's not on here, but I have a Holley 92 millimeter throttle body that's going to go on it. It is going to be cable driven. I know these were originally drive-by-wire, but I'm going to do cable driven throttle body. These are Moroso valve covers. Picked them up off on eBay. They've got some engraving here that aren't mine. I don't really know who New Era Performance Racing is, but congratulations to you. You made it on my engine. I just got them cheap on eBay. And for the spark plug coils, I am going to create a mount that is off the motor. I know originally they would have attached right to the valve cover. Those are going to be off the motor I'm hoping that will help with the clearance on the wiper motor. A AFM DOD delete kit in it, BTR conical springs and Comp Cam's Trunnion upgrade up top, BTR Chromoly pushrods and Morel LS7 lifters. So all that I think will allow me to be able to push this drivetrain to probably about 7,000 RPM, which should be good for a car that's meant for some road course work. The heads were put back on with APR head bolts. I didn't do studs. I'm not going to really run boost on this. It's going to be an NA motor. These respond well, from what I've read, to pump E85, so I think I'm probably going to run pump E85 on this with a flex fuel sensor to allow me to run both. I just have a vacuum pump delete on the front for accessories. I'm going to run pretty minimal. I'm planning on using electric water pumps, so I have some adapters that allow me to use an electric water pump and not the stock water pump. I'm going to try and get as thin as I can with the pulley and basically run a power steering pump and an alternator, and that's about it for accessories. I may even delete on the power steering pump. I've considered using a Mini Cooper electric power steering pump and run only an alternator as an accessory. I'm not fully sold on that yet, but it's in the consideration. Well, thank you for watching and following along. I know this little update probably isn't super long, but hopefully it's been entertaining. I am trying to keep everything updated and publish videos a little more frequently on the progress. I'm trying to stay at it in the garage. I really want to get this thing done and on the road before spring, so trying to keep the progress moving forward. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next